Welcome everyone to another episode of the B-Side Podcast, where we shine a spotlight on the vibe curators, the unsung heroes that turn your regular night out to an unforgettable night. And I'm DJ Revy B.
And I'm Mr. Dre.
And today we have another Toronto legend in the house, one of my favorite DJs, Jayemkayem.
Thank you so much.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm really excited to be here. Yeah. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for doing this. So we're going to start off with, some icebreakers. First, what have you been listening to?
I've been listening to the Chinedu album a lot because I feel like when it first came out, I was kind of like, I don't know. I just didn't really take it in. So now I'm like, I think it's been out for a few months and I'm like really taking it in now. And I actually played back in July. I played at this festival in Calgary, which is my hometown, called Badlands. Yeah. And I played on like the same night as Chinedu.
Oh, did you get to meet him?
I didn't meet him. I did see him backstage, but he was like, he looked like he was really in the zone. Yeah. I was like, if I see him, maybe I'll talk to him. But like when you see someone, you're like, it's not the time. It was
read the room.
Yeah, he was just like chilling. I was like, okay, it's not the time. But he did like a lot of his new songs at that performance.
Is there any artist that you would meet and you can tell like it's not the time, but like you're like, yo, I'd
do it anyways.
Yeah. I think you know the answer to that one. I think everybody in the room knows the answer to that one.
How about you? Is there any artist?
I don't think so. I feel awkward enough. Like, I don't really get starstruck. I've been around a lot of like famous people. I never really get the starstruck feeling. I just feel awkward almost because it's like, I feel like they get approached so much. Like very recently, actually, I was like in the same room as Missy Elliott and it was like a very like chill setting too. Like she was with like a lot of her dancers and her employees. And I definitely could have just like said what's up to her, but I didn't. I was just like,
so what'd you do? You just stood in the corner just watching?
I was DJing, so I don't know. I just like, she was right by me and I was like, should I say something? And I was like, no. She's enjoying herself, like relaxing. So
not me. Yeah, I would have.
you would have said something.
What do you want to hear? What you listen to?
I would have just come up to her like,
She had a crazy aura though.
Oh, really?
She really did. Like, there's been a few like celebrities I've been around who definitely have that vibe, and she has that vibe.
Dope.
Yeah, I love Missy. I was so sad I didn't get to go see her in town last week. The show looked amazing, and
I feel like I get all these announcements
late
after, like way too late. I'm just like,
I knew she was coming. I just thought it was later on in the year for some reason.
Yeah, I'm like you though. I feel like I miss all the concert announcements. Yeah. I'm not getting like the ads. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Same.
Algorithm is an algorithm. I keep getting Timu.
Yeah.
Show me the Missy Elliott.
Right? So who's on your shirt? I love it.
Yeah, it's Lil' Kim.
Why did you pick Lil' Kim?
I just love her. She's an icon. I wouldn't even say that she's like my favorite rapper or anything like that, but I think in terms of her style and she was just so like iconic, and she was such a trailblazer for women.
She is the blueprint.
She's
when it comes
absolutely
to
the blueprint.
Rap music, female rap.
Yeah, and even
rap music in general.
Totally, yeah. I think even this image in this particular photo, like this is something that you would see today, but this photo is from like 30 years ago. So I think that kind of tells you something.
I think all the female rappers have replicated that photo.
Totally, yeah.
Like I can name like at least 5 because it was just such an iconic pose and just...
Yeah. Yes, her style, her attitude, everything. I just love her. She's iconic.
So this weekend you were at one of my favorite parties.
Yeah, I was at Chillin' and Grillin' this weekend.
How was that?
It was honestly so much fun. Like, I'm always really thankful to be asked to do parties like that, like by other DJs. It's like, it really means a lot. And I love what they're doing. I love to see their party, like how it's grown over the last few years. I think it was like their first year they were at Mascot, which is like, very small. And then the next year was a little bit bigger, and now it's like huge. And I just love to...
It always sells out. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's like, it's just cool to see. I think that they've really like dialed in a demographic and an experience, and they're always working to like elevate that experience for the people that come. And then also like bringing in different DJs and doing stuff like that. So I just think it's really inspiring, and it was such a good time. It was a beautiful day.
Yeah.
The vibes were on point.
Yeah.
So.
They have like one of the best crowds. They just want to dance, listen to music, and have a good time.
Yeah. So. I was like honestly kind of nervous to like DJ with all of them because it was like the Sweet Touch guys and Skits and Jason Palma, who are all like amazing DJs. And like, yeah, I also hadn't played on turntables in a while. So I was nervous for that, but I kind of like I could have asked for something different, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to like get in the zone here and like just put myself out there like that. So that was fun.
And too. I'm sure you killed it. I'm sure you did.
Honestly, I had such a great time, and yeah, I really had fun. Like I felt like everybody was just like receptive to what I was playing, which was nice. So yeah.
Back to my icebreakers.
Yeah.
What's your favorite genre of music?
It's really hard. I like so many different kinds of music. I mean, I think like if I only had to listen to one thing forever, it would probably be R&B.
Everyone always says that.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite R&B artist?
Usher.
I think she's a spirit animal.
I think so.
Yeah.
Favorite Usher B-side song?
Ooh.
You can pick 3.
That's hard. I might have to consult my phone.
Go ahead.
I honestly like, I know it might not necessarily be like a B-side, but I think that like a song that people kind of forget about is Confessions Part 1.
True. Yeah. The extended version.
It's like that one is so good. Also, he like a lot of his songs are like the stuff he's saying, I'm just like, this is so shady. He like says the shadiest things, but then he makes it sound so good.
True.
What about you? What's your favorite Usher B-side?
Ooh, okay. Let's see. Love You Gently.
Oh, that's a good one.
What Happened to You? And I really like Make Love Into the Night. I think that's the name of the song. It's from Mars versus Venus. No, Raymond versus Raymond.
Okay, yeah. Raymond versus Raymond was good. What did you think about his Super Bowl performance?
I was getting my life.
Yeah.
Like Marley was like looking at my daughter. She was looking at me like, what's wrong with this child? Like, what's going on? But I was like getting my full entire life. Like it was one of the best performances I've ever seen.
I think so too.
And I'm going to actually see him for the first time this weekend.
Oh my gosh,
and
amazing.
I can't wait. Like me and 20 of my girlfriends, we got ourselves a suite and we're gonna do it out.
Okay, we need a debrief after. I need all the details.
I'm praying he pulls me up on stage. I already told my husband if he does.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. I'm coming home to you, but
you're gonna be in a box. You're not getting called on stage. It's gotta go.
It can happen.
100 levels, 200 levels, 300. The box.
That's why I'm putting it out there. So Usher, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this,
Usher,
call me boo. Like I know all the lyrics, everything. I could do a little pop lock and drop. You know.
But yeah, I love R&B music. Yeah. I think that's my favorite. Like if I had to listen to one genre.
Yeah. Do you like new age R&B or old school R&B better?
I like both. Yeah. I mean, I think that I love a lot of like new R&B artists. I want more like up-tempo R&B from our new artists. A lot of it is like really chill and like
very
really
sad too.
Yeah, which is like cool, but I feel
want
like
stuff to dance to.
Yeah. And it's like interesting too, like even with SZA, for instance, like obviously her new album, or not new anymore, but her latest album is so amazing. But there's been so many like edits and remixes because it's like you actually really can't play them out like in their original state. They're like
that's facts.
slow.
That's facts, man.
Yeah. So I guess that's kind of a good thing.
Yeah. I think you make a good point. Yeah, definitely more music that we can dance to. Definitely. Yeah. Okay, let's get into your story a little bit about you.
Before we go anywhere, I just want to ask real quick. What are we addressing you as? Jay or Joe?
People call me Jay. Like, yeah. That's chill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Since you started with that, I really love your name because of spelling.
Yeah.
So I want to know, how did you come up with that? It's cool because every time you have to say it, you basically have to like enunciate it or spell it out. Kind of.
It's kind of, so my name is like good and bad. It's like good for some reasons. Okay, let's list the goods.
Yes, let's list the goods. So
Jayemkayem, it's actually just like my initials.
Oh, okay.
And it was just like an Instagram handle because I, had that as a handle long before I became a DJ. I think it's good because it's like no one will ever have it.
Yes.
It's like very unique in that way.
Yeah.
That's the one good thing. The bads are like, it's long. It's kind of hard to say. It's hard to like, if you're in a loud place and you're trying to say it to someone, they're always like, what? So those are the bads. Another good thing, I guess, is that if I ever need to get like a URL or like a handle on anything, it's always available. Yeah. So that's good. But yeah, it really just came from like, it was just an Instagram handle. Yeah. And when I started DJing, so I kind of started DJing like a little bit, like not by accident, but like it kind of happened like very fast, I guess, from when I went to being like someone who was just DJing in my bedroom to like playing out.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, I just always like assumed I would have a little bit more time to like think about what I was going to do for my alias. But I basically got booked for like my first gig, and then the person sent back the flyer and it just like had that on it. I guess because we had been like, you know, talking on social media. Yeah. And I was like, okay, well,
I guess that's my name.
I guess that's it for now. I'll change it later. Like I was just like, I'll change it later. But then, yeah, it just kind of like snowballed pretty quickly. And I was like, oh,
that was a household name.
Have you ever been in like a scenario where like they're trying to call you up on stage or one of your gigs? So like, ladies and gentlemen, we got this DJ coming up. Her name is
that has definitely happened.
Jay.
Literally. Yeah. I've had like some interesting ones. Like people just like, Jay is fine. That's cool. That still works. But like, what did someone call me once? Jayemkayem. I was
Did you know they were calling you?
No, I literally was just like, that's not me. And then I was like, oh wait, that person was literally calling me. Yeah. So yeah, no, it's tough. I sometimes do think about changing it, honestly, still.
Yeah.
Really?
Like, well, I think like now I'm kind of making music and I'm like becoming more of like an artist and a producer. And I'm like, this would kind of be like the time to do that. I guess I could still.
Any considerations? Have you any thoughts? I think I like Jayemkayem.
That could go
Jayemkayem, I like that. Yeah.
Nothing serious, no serious thoughts yet. Okay. But we'll see.
Jayemkayem.
Some people do seem to like the name though, like you said.
I love it.
Yeah, I know.
That feels good.
Once you learn how to pronounce it, it's such a cool name and it is very unique. And no one will ever have it.
Thank you.
Like
thank you.
I would keep it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any name that you personally, any name that you have and you don't have to attach a DJ or an MC to it.
Yeah.
I think it's dope. Like you can say Revy B, you know, you can say Jayemkayem, you can say Martin Says, like you know that's the brand already.
Yeah.
So
right.
I love those kinds of names.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
So you mentioned that when you got into DJ, you got in like very fast. So let's talk about the journey of when you started, how did you start? What made you start DJing or want to get into DJing?
So I'm from Calgary originally, and I was always like very involved with like the music and party scene there.
In what way were you organizing parties?
Yeah, I was like throwing parties and like promoting, I guess. And like, I guess now we call those people hosts. But I was essentially hosting. I was like physically like selling tickets sometimes, but then also at the party, I was kind of the person who was like hosting everyone, like buying drinks and like, you know, hyping it up and stuff. And so
is this when you were in university?
Yeah, it started like, I guess when I would have been like in university, and my like ex at the time, he was a DJ.
Okay.
So that's how I got really exposed to a lot more of like the back end of like the DJ world, beyond just like being someone who went out to parties. I always went out to parties. I was always very social. I started going clubbing when I was like too young to go to clubs, really. And
I heard you in an interview. You said you were, you know, in the club scene like from like 16.
Yeah.
How'd you get in? How'd you get in?
Fake IDs?
Well, fake IDs. And also just like, I feel like back then it was like easier. Like this is like
that is true.
Yeah. You know, like the early mid 2000s, it was
in
like
Calgary?
Yeah, like
it's like in Calgary now, like to get into a club in Calgary, they've got like
it's hard now. This is why though. Yeah. This is why, because before it was so loosey goosey.
Yeah. Even like I remember spending spring break in LA, and me and my I'm not gonna put this on.
You're like, wait a minute, I'm about to reveal
I'm about to snitch on myself. But yeah,
it was easier. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. I mean, when in Nigeria back in the day, like we didn't need IDs. You just got to be a bouncer.
Yeah,
that's
exactly. And I think like also if you like looked like, they would just be like, oh, you look like you're old enough. Go in, you know. But my ex at the time, he was a DJ. He kind of like taught me a lot about like just like how to get bookings and like stuff like that, because I would see him do it, and we used to do parties together and stuff, and some of those parties are actually still going on now in Calgary, which is crazy.
Okay.
But so how I started is like it's funny because when I was like with that guy who was a DJ, I never thought I would do it myself. Not because I thought that like he wouldn't like approve, because he definitely would. I guess I just always viewed it as like his thing, and it wasn't my thing, you know? And also like at the time, I think that the type of DJing that I was exposed to more, I didn't really connect with it. It was a lot of like turntablism and like stuff like that. And I love that stuff, but I just could never foresee myself doing it.
Yeah.
And so I got into doing it more like after me and my ex split. He he was like, oh, you should take this like old mixer I have, because you're into DJing and learning how, and like, if you ever decide to learn, you'll have something.
Yeah.
And so, that's kind of like how it first started. That's how I got my first piece of gear. And then I just kind of started learning in my room.
So you taught yourself? Yeah,
I taught myself, but I think that it was kind of interesting, like, not even saying like, oh, I could do it immediately, but like, I think just from watching people for so long, the first time I ever tried to like mix two songs together, I could do it.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So natural. I think I just like had a bit of an advantage from being exposed to it for so long, and literally watching people do it up close for so long. Yeah.
Sorry.
Fun fact. When obviously, because Revi is the chief podcaster here, and when she had booked you, I was like, oh, like who's this person? And then I looked at it, I was like, wait, we met in Calgary for the first time.
Yeah.
We did a gig together.
We did.
I mean, I was impressed by by your set and everything. So I guess it's a pleasure, I guess,
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. I know. I actually forgot that you are from here, actually.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. Because we met in Calgary. So I think in my head, you're just like a Calgary person. Like,
yeah. No, I'm not. No.
Yeah. No. You're like, I am not a Calgary person.
He's always there. So you started in Calgary.
Yeah.
And so once you started DJing, do you remember your first gig?
Yeah. So I started DJing, teaching myself to DJ, and I was just DJing, like I said, in my room, making mixes. At the time, I was really listening to like a lot of stuff on SoundCloud. I was very inspired by like Selection and like the early Kitronada days and all that stuff. And I was just kind of like discovering all this like new music through the internet that I never knew existed. And so I was making a lot of mixes, putting them on SoundCloud. And like one of the mixes that I made literally got like 50,000 plays or something.
Wow.
It was like, it like popped off. And I was like, okay, that's cool and interesting. It ended up getting taken down because remember they were taking down mixes like crazy back then. But
SoundCloud deleted my SoundCloud page.
Yeah.
Like you just like, oh, you just overdone it. Like, not one, not two, not three. Just like take out the whole page.
So that was kind of cool because I was like, okay, that's cool. That like that connected with people in a way that like clearly that mix like hit in some way. So I was like, that was pretty like encouraging at the beginning. And my first gig, I played at this like market kind of thing. Like those markets where people bring stuff that they've made to like sell.
Yeah.
That was like the first gig I did, and it was perfect because it was pretty like low pressure. There wasn't like a dance floor or anything like that, and it's just playing like vibes. But it's just like that one gig kind of like snowballed because someone hit me up after that gig and was like, I saw you play at that thing and like I want to book you for this and that. And then started getting like a couple small gigs in Calgary. And one of my friends who I've spoke about before in interviews, but I always try to say his name and thank him, DJ Phenom, who I'm still friends with now and still DJs in Calgary a lot. Yeah. He's the first person who booked me to play like at a nightclub kind of scenario. And he booked me. He put me on during like prime time, which like I don't know if I would have done.
Can be nerve-wracking.
Yeah, but I'm so glad he did because it just kind of threw me into it. And he also like, paid me properly for my time and all these like little things that I think from the beginning like really stuck with me and like set me up for my journey going forward. Like, people value you and like they want to put you on and not like just bring you on to open, and they
Yeah.
want to like compensate you properly. Like those things were really like drilled into my head from early. So
Yeah.
I always just want to say thank you to DJ Phenom.
Shout outs to DJ Phenom. Thank you for being amazing.
Yeah.
So when did you transition from Calgary to Toronto, and why?
Yeah, like I moved to Toronto in 2015.
Oh, wow.
So it was a pretty like special time in the city. There was like, at the time, like Toronto, just like, it was like, I'd come to visit a bunch of times, and like I could tell it was just like a good like buzz going on, you know, like from the music scene and like everything. And I knew that I wanted to like pursue music. I didn't know if I wanted to be a DJ or if I wanted to make music, or at the time I was like working as like a writer in media. So even if you work in like music media, this would definitely be like the place to be. So I just knew that I wanted to be closer to like the music industry, and really like the industry is here.
Yeah.
So I moved in 2015. At the time I was kind of like in an interesting place in my life. Like I had gotten out of like this long relationship, and I like moved home with my family.
Yeah.
And I like quit my job, and I like was kind of just like on this, you know,
Trying to
journey. Yeah. Like
Find
trying
yourself.
to,
Yeah.
exactly. Finding myself, like
Yeah.
shifting my life. I knew I wanted something different, even though I didn't know what it was yet. And yeah, I just took a big chance. I just moved here. I had some money saved. And I was like, I'm just going to go there and like see what
That's
I can
very brave.
get going. Yeah. Like looking back, I do
Yeah.
now think that it was. I mean, at the time I didn't really think anything of it, but I think it was pretty like,
Because you're leaving your family, everything you've known, and I would have imagined that you've already, because you were doing parties already in Calgary, so
Yeah.
you already had made a name for yourself in that city.
Yeah.
And then to transition to a new city, that's,
yeah. I was just like, I think I'm I mean, I'm a vibes person, as we all are. Like, and sometimes I feel like if I just get a sense or like an inclining for something, I'll just
Yeah.
like do it. And I'm like, I'll just trust that it's gonna work out.
Yeah.
For better or worse, you know. I think that's like worked out good sometimes
Yeah.
and not worked out, but like that was a time I think it worked out when I was just like, I have a feeling about this Toronto
Yeah.
thing. I'm gonna go like try it.
I have a better origin story.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be like, you studied music journalism, which you did, by the way.
Yeah.
And you're trying to, you know, do the whole journalism thing on music, and you're like, yo, these guys are not playing what I want to hear them to play. So I'm like,
I'm gonna take
gonna
your
take
job.
take your job, get a deck, take your job, play what I want to play, and be a music journalist. You know, I think that's a better story.
Okay, I will revise it for future
the
interviews.
movie.
I will
I
revise.
wanted to know, so like between then and now, in terms of DJing, what has been like the differences? Just, you know, when you came to Toronto, started DJing in 2015, 2016,
Yeah.
versus how it is now. Like, what would you say is kind of like the difference, or the changes, or the things that have just kind of like, you know?
Like when I look around and observe what's happening in the DJ scene.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the style of music is obviously very different.
Yeah.
At that era, it was like kind of like, because when I got to the city too, I was going out a lot because I was just trying to see what was going on. I was trying to meet people. So I felt like I got a good like lay of the land. But
Right.
in that era, King Street was like all still like house music
Yeah.
and like very like that kind of vibe.
Century Room.
Yeah. And then on like, you know, Queen West and like Dundas West and like Kensington was more like sort of like hip hop, like these more like not even really like open format, but like hip hop, dance hall. There was no really like Afro beats or anything back then. Like I'm sure there was in like pockets, but like you didn't see it like widespread as it is now.
Yeah.
So that was kind of interesting. Yeah. And then I think like there was still kind of like, I don't even want to call it like, it was like still a lot of like DJs, I guess, who had been like DJing for a long time in the city, like those like legacy DJs who are still playing now, but they were really like still all over the place. I think in the last like 5 years, there's been like a huge,
A new wave,
like wave of like so many DJs. Like I can't even keep up.
Yeah.
Like back when I first moved here, I felt like it was more like the same kind of like group of names that you would see everywhere. But now it's like, I learn a new DJ every week now. I'm not even kidding. And it's like, I think that's a difference. And I think I don't want to say it's good or bad. It's just different.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. Yeah. It's different is a good way to put it. Yeah.
Different. And like a lot more parties with lots and lots of DJs. That's definitely something you didn't really
How do you
see
feel
before.
about that?
I don't like that personally because I don't think it's ever really a good vibe for the party or for the people at the party. Like, I think as a DJ needs like at least like an hour or an hour and a half for a set to like get into it.
Yeah.
And then also like if you're just switching DJs like every hour, I don't ever think, I mean, unless they're DJs who can really play together.
Yeah.
But if it's just like 4 random DJs that you slap on a night and they're playing for an hour each, I don't think it ever works out.
Yeah, I think it works when it's you as the show producer. I think you have to like heavily curate it, right? If you're getting DJs that specialize in certain like genres, I think those work. And I also think it sometimes works for day parties better than night parties.
That part,
because those are longer, and a night party is really from 10 to 3, and it really kicks off at 12 o'clock. Yeah, mostly, right?
1 o'clock if you're
if you're night,
our nights are a lot shorter, and so then there's 2 people. Like if you have someone from 10 to 11 and 11 to 12, they're playing to like nobody. So I personally think like if it's a nighttime set, I think like 2 DJs is like perfect. Maybe 3 if it's like 3 who really know how to like play together. So I think that like more DJs isn't always better, not only for like the vibe of the party, but then there's also the financial aspect of it too. It's like, you know, I think that overall in the time that since I've moved here till now, the rates for DJs in nightclub settings has gone down
drastically. That's something I wanted to talk about, because I remember Lissa, she was here as our first guest, and I didn't really get to touch on this with her, but she had tweeted something, and then one of her responses, she was saying that somebody had said that, oh, I can't DJ full time. I have to have a side job. And she was saying how when she first DJ'd, she made enough money to buy a condo. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing. That's something that you can't really do now. And so I wanted to get your take on that, because I also saw, I think pay is something that is very, very, like, it's a hot topic. And I saw another DJ, I think from the States, when they asked them what a good rate should be, and they said the amount to cover your laptop. And I'm like, that's great in theory. But a MacBook costs $3,000, $4,000. How many clubs are really paying? That's for sure. Like festivals, and I don't know if festivals are even paying DJs that amount.
I don't think they are, to be honest. I think festivals are interesting because it's like, I saw a thing on Twitter too that was like, when you see a festival lineup, it's like the names in big are getting paid a lot, and then all the small names are getting paid like nothing. So, but pay is interesting. It's definitely changed over the years. And I mean, that's kind of to be expected with anything.
But do you think that's because we have more DJs, or?
I think that does impact it. Yeah, for sure. I think that a lot of things there's many, many factors that are happening. And I think that obviously when there's more DJs, and more DJs who might be okay with taking a lower rate, that's going to like drive things down. But there's also other things happening too. Like, you know, I don't think that nightclubs are like making as much money overall as they once were for various reasons too. A lot of people don't drink anymore.
Including myself.
Me too. I'll have a drink once in a while. I shouldn't say I completely quit, but I rarely will. And I think that a lot of people around me are also making that same decision. So I think there's so many factors to it. And like another thing too is like, just when there's like more DJs, like anytime anything becomes more popular, it gets cheaper.
Word.
So say that again for the people in the back.
That's true. So I want to take a step back to when you moved back to when you moved to Toronto, and because now you're a household name, everybody knows who you are. You are. I know you're from Calgary, but you're still a Toronto legend.
Yeah, I'm a Toronto girl. Thank you. I still feel like, it's so funny when people say that, because like I feel like I'm still getting started weirdly.
That's because you're transitioning into your artist bag. That's why. But how did you kind of like create a lane or name for yourself?
Yeah, it's an interesting question, because again, I feel like I'm still finding my lane. But I do think that one thing that I've always tried to do is like, I've always just been like, I'm a fan first, like always. Before I'm a DJ, I'm a fan. I always like love to go to different people's parties. I always try to like check out what's going on. So I've always been just super keen to like collaborate with people and like also be in a few different scenes.
Yeah.
I think that that's kind of like a lot of people say that you should kind of pick something and like stick to it. And I like never did that, for better or worse.
I love that you say that, because I feel that way sometimes. I feel like I'm always like, is it better to be a master of none or be a master of one thing?
Yeah.
And I always feel like I'm all over the place sometimes.
Yeah.
I feel like that saying is stuck in the old, man.
Yeah.
In this new days, just know as much as you can.
Yeah.
I think I subscribe more to, as long as you have so many skills, what's that thing? You almost never be hungry, because you've got many ways to like find food.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
But I myself can be a perfectionist and hard on myself. And
he's like, tell me about it.
When I want to do something, I always want to do it
to the max
and do it to the best of my ability.
For sure.
Because even this right now, I know I'm going to go home and be like, damn, I should have asked this.
Yeah.
I should have done this. I should have done that.
Yeah.
So do you ever feel that way with all the things that you're doing?
For sure. Like, I definitely always think that like, oh, I could, if I just like honed in on this one thing, I could be really good at it. But I think ultimately, like, as long as you're being true to yourself and like pursuing what you are genuinely interested in, like that is just, that's the way to go. Yeah. And for me, like, it's kind of like messes with my head sometimes, because a lot of my interests feel like they're very far away from each other. Yeah. But it's like, again, if it's genuine and I really want to do it, like nowadays you can find a way to do all the things that you want to do. Yeah. We're really blessed with like,
just won't sleep, but
yeah, exactly. We're really blessed with all these different like avenues and platforms that we can kind of like, express ourselves through. So,
so you were saying you were in different scenes, different pockets.
Always different pockets, and like always down to try new things. And so I think that's been helpful for me in getting really established. Another thing is like, I've always tried to treat every single gig the same. Yeah. Like no matter what it was, like it was like the smallest thing, or if there's no one there, I would just like always try to like give it my full effort. And people have told me like that is something that they associate with me, that I'll like give it a lot of effort and I'll like show up for like whatever it is. Yeah. And I think that's also helped me getting established and getting bookings and like being reliable in that way, like I get booked for a lot of things through different like agencies, and they always say like, we love just like having you on, and like we know that even if we're putting you in like a 2,000 person room or like 100 person room, like you're gonna bring it every time. So I think that's something that I try to stand by and stick with. What else has helped me?
And then you started your own events as well.
Yeah, I started my own events. Like, again, because I'm a fan first, I always wanted to try to think about like, what would I want as like someone going out, and how can I like bring that? So that's important. And then, I've always just been about like, it's so funny because like I really am about community, but I feel like sometimes it's kind of like cringe because it's been co-opted a bit, and like people like, it's like a buzzword. Yeah. But like to me, community just means like finding people who like are into the same things as you, and like you all want like a common like outcome or goal. And I think that that's always been important to me, to like find other people to like do stuff with, again, and very collaborative. Yeah. And that's where projects like our radio station have come about, ISO Radio, which we've been running now for 5.5 years. Yes. And I can't believe it's been that long. I know. Many times I thought we were going to have to. Yes, during the pandemic. I visited the first location you were, and it was a few weeks before the pandemic. Crazy. Actually. Yeah. I remember that. And what was your inspiration behind ISO Radio? Because right now you have about like, 40 different shows happening. Yeah, we're at Stacked Market. We're at Stacked Market. Yeah, we've been at Stacked since 2021, so it's been 3 years now. And the inspiration behind ISO is just really to create something. It's a creative platform, really. It's a music discovery platform. We call it all these different things, but essentially it's an online radio station. Yeah, we have many different shows hosted by different DJs. We have lots of guests that come on. And it's really just sort of like a place for creative expression. It's like we essentially do like live streams, but it's really like DJs play what they want, they do what they want, and it's just a fun time.
How's that programming?
Yeah, it's
I feel like DJs can be like finicky sometimes. So
For
I'm sure
sure.
you've had like situations where you were supposed to have this DJ do a show and
Yeah.
they're like texting you 10 minutes.
Oh, for sure.
like,
Yeah, that happens like pretty often.
like, oh, I can't make it.
And and at first, like it was like, you know, because I'm like you, it's like if I commit to something and I want it to be executed a certain way, but like after a while, you're just like, there's no way I can like possibly like mitigate every single thing that's gonna happen here. And there's been so many like wild like incidences of just like us having to like cancel that day, whether it's like people, you know, having to cancel, or like there was a time recently where we like showed up to the container it's stacked and we are supposed to have like guests and there was no power. And it's like things like that. You can't control it. And I think it's also been a good lesson. It like sometimes you just have to like
Release.
let it go. And tomorrow will be a better day.
So what, in that situation, when something like that happens, do you just re-air a new a repeat of the show? Okay.
So we essentially have stuff like that's running all the time on our like on our online stream. And actually we, during like the offline hours, we run all the archived shows.
Okay, makes sense.
From this one, it's actually all from one DJ. I definitely want to say his name as well because he actually passed away. But his name is Jason Ulrich, JL. He's a legendary DJ in Toronto. And yeah, he passed away about 2 years ago. And he was part of our roster. He did all these amazing shows for us. And, you know, thankfully we have them all the recordings, so we play them in the offline hours, and it's sort of our way to pay tribute to Jay, but have him sort of part of our community still.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, he is amazing.
Wow.
I was trying to find a DM. I sent you guys a DM in 2020 something, and they haven't still responded.
Oh my god.
Trying to find it, couldn't find it.
Okay.
Are you hiring? No.
So we get so many like DMs that we have never checked. I'm so sorry. People always say that. They're like, I tried to DM you. I'm like, on ISO account? I'm like, oh, it's never be read.
Yeah. It's in the
ether.
Pits. Yeah.
Okay.
It's hard because like so many people have access to the account. So like sometimes a message will get like read, but then like I don't know that it got,
makes
you know,
sense.
and then it's like,
okay.
Makes sense. What I love about it.
Okay.
Well, talk to her.
That's the killing part.
What I love about it is like it's such a labor of love, and you can tell it's for the community.
Yeah.
And I know how hard it is to put those things together and fund it.
Yeah.
So like I just wanted to say thank you for
shout out to you
doing
guys.
that. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really a labor of love. Like when people say that, it's like that is, I know exactly what that means with that project, but it's a community effort too, you know, and it's like definitely me and Freeza have done a lot of heavy lifting, but we also have like all our volunteers over the years. There's been like 40 different volunteers. Some of them have moved on to other things. Some of them are still with us now, and just people who've come together to make it happen. And like, I think that's what makes it feel really special. In the times when I'm like, oh, I don't have energy for this anymore, I can't. It's like, those are the people that like help and
takes a village.
Yeah. So definitely shout out them. And like, you know, as much as like it's a frustrating project, I would be lying if I were to say it was like all great, because it's frustrating all the time.
Yeah.
But like I still think that like, you know, I still am inspired by it, and that's why I keep doing it. Yeah.
That's amazing. One of the things I admire about you, and I think we've had this conversation a long time ago, is how you're able to be so free on social media. And like, you're like an original influencer. I don't know if you know that. Like, and I think that's really great with your storytelling. And now you've even transitioned over to TikTok. And during the pandemic, I don't want to use the word, but you pivoted very well to Twitch. And now you're like an official Twitch partner.
I'm a Twitch partner. Yeah. I haven't streamed in a while, but I really want to get back into it. They actually just, Twitch has a new official DJ category now. Yeah. So it's pretty exciting.
So they
it's
won't
like,
mute your music?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So they did like an official, like, they got all their licensing in place, so we can actually like stream on there officially now.
Twitch,
yeah. But I just like, I really enjoy trying new things.
Yeah.
I'm like super open to that. And even things like TikTok.
Yeah.
You know, I think when I first heard about TikTok, it was before the pandemic for sure. But I think I downloaded it, I opened it, and I literally had no idea what I was even looking at. I was like, what is this? Like, there's people dancing.
Still very confusing.
It's still very.
Yeah. When you first
I feel old when I go on TikTok.
Trust me, like the first time I opened it, I was like, holy, I do not know what's going on or what I'm even supposed to do here. You know, I don't know how to interact with this thing. But I think I was just like, the more I heard people talking about it, I was like, I need to know what this is. And so I just started like trying stuff. And I think that, you know, it's social media is funny. We can get in our head a lot about like, oh, should I post? Should I do this and that? And that's one platform where you have to like remove all the like thoughts about it being cringe and just like do it. And once I started doing that, I started like learning more and then figuring out like what kind of things like worked. But TikTok's a funny one because I was like trying so many things and I was like, I'm gonna try all these different like formats for videos and just like, you know, and I wasn't like trying to go viral. I was literally just doing it to learn. But then I had some videos that really hit and they were going crazy, like millions of views. Like, and I was like, and everyone was loving them, but they were so like time consuming to make. I was like, shit, I actually don't think I can.
Then you start feeling the pressure to like mimic,
be a content creator. And I was like, I don't think I can actually keep this up, guys. Sorry, I'm not gonna make them anymore. And people like now,
what type of videos were you making that?
So the ones that really hit, I started doing this like, so
I like the date night ones.
Yeah, those are cute. Those are, I'll still continue to do those. Yeah.
Like new restaurants.
I go on TikTok now.
Yeah. I like doing like foodie stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, I love going out to eat with my partner and just like kind of showcasing that. But the ones that really started doing super well for me, this is late last year. I'm really into like the like history of nightlife in different cities, and Toronto obviously, and so I'll just like, that's kind of one of the things, if I'm just like sitting on my phone, I'll just like research stuff about like, you know, old nightclubs in like New York or all these places. And so I did this series on TikTok about like historical nightclubs in Toronto, where I would like do like a series of like 3 or 4 videos on one nightclub and like tell the story of it. And so it was like the type of content that TikTok like eats up, you know? And they did really, really well. But like, it's so much time, like actually doing the research, doing like the script, doing the actual like filming with the green screen. And then the app is like so glitchy. Like one of those videos took me like 8 hours to make.
Oh my God.
And this video is like 1.5 minutes long. So like, you can see how like, that is just not sustainable for someone who's not a full-time content creator. So it's
very mindful, very demure.
Yes, exactly. So it's funny because like all the advice that people give about TikTok is like, oh yeah, you got to try a bunch of different stuff. And then once you find the thing that hits, continue to do that thing. And I was like, I found the thing that hits. I can't continue on with it. I'm sorry, guys.
That's fair.
Yeah. So,
how many M's are in your TikTok name?
A lot. So
did you ever log out?
I never log out. If I ever get logged out, I won't be able to get back in.
What is my username?
So again, like when I first started TikTok, I wasn't really using it as like a legit platform. It was like a Finsta. So that's why I just made like some random name, and now I'm like,
the only other person that has this many M's is Jeff Bezos.
He needed to give me a couple M's.
Last time I saw you at the Renaissance Groove.
Iconic night.
I know, right?
I still think about it.
Same. I want to do it again.
It was like a perfect night.
Yeah.
Right, moving on.
You had told me that you were on tour with Michael Bublé. Was it Michael Bublé?
Yeah.
And you were doing social media for him.
I was, yeah.
How did you, like, that's so cool.
Why'd you quit that? That's like a sweet, just a dreamy job. Like,
it's like, well, I mean, it was just a short-term job because it was just like one tour that I did with him. But yeah, that was really fun. It's like, it's so funny because nobody really like knows that about me. Because at the time I couldn't really tell anybody like publicly. I couldn't really post about it.
Was I not?
It's fine. No, it's chill now. But yeah, that opportunity just came like through a contact, and it was sort of like an interesting time because it was when things were becoming open again after the pandemic. But it was still very like weren't sure. We're like, are things gonna close again? Like what's happening? And so, someone just hit me up and was like, I have this opportunity to like work on this tour. They didn't say the artist at the time, but they're like, you should have this meeting with someone. Had a meeting. It ended up being his management company. And they were just like, yeah, we need someone to go on tour and do like social media content. And it's really interesting because that role was like a lot of like capturing content, but then sort of like working directly with the artist and his team and stuff like that. And you know, when you're working with artists who are on tour, it's like very stressful. They have a lot going on. Yeah. You like kind of have to know, it's a read the room situation. You have to know like, is today a good day to like approach and like try to do something, or should I just like hang back? Yeah. So I think that the person who referred me for that job, they're like, that was one of the reasons why we reached out to you. Cause like, they're like, you're just good with people and like, you can kind of like,
as any great DJ would, you know?
Right. Yeah. So it's kind of like one of those interesting transferable DJ skills I never really thought about. They're like, you can pick up on the vibe if someone's not.
You know what to quickly change the song. They're not feeling this, right? Yeah. Exactly. What was the highlight for you of that tour?
I mean, traveling all over North America, obviously, is really cool.
What was your favorite city?
Hard to say. Because you don't really get to hang out in the cities a lot, to be honest.
It's like overnight
But doing the bus. Yeah. So.
Oh, was it a bus the whole time?
Bus. Yeah.
I want to do a bus tour.
I think
I've always wanted to.
The highlight, I would say, even more than traveling, was the people I met on the tour. Because I was actually sharing a bus with some of his band members. And there was like, I think there was 3 buses for the band. Because he has like a big, full jazz band, right? So... And it was interesting how they organize the buses. It's like there's one bus for the guys who've been in the band for like 15 years. And then there's like the middle bus. And then there's like the rookies bus, which is what I was on. So a lot of the guys that I was sharing the bus with, they all just joined the band that year. And they're all jazz musicians. Oh, like, wow. Yeah, who all came from like Juilliard and like Berklee School of Music and all these amazing places. And so it was cool because we were all kind of experiencing a tour like that for the first time. Yeah. And so that was a lot of fun, and I still keep in touch with them now. And another like really interesting thing is like, I'm a music person. Yeah. They're all music people, but our worlds were so different. I learned so much from them, like just about like obviously music and artists, but like even just how they approach music, how they like listen to music. I was talking about people like Chinedu, and they're like, we don't know who that is.
Really?
And I was like, guys, like I would be saying like big pop artists, and they're like jazz, we just aren't in that world. And I was like, that's makes crazy sense. Because like, it makes sense. But it's like, I think also it's, especially with music, it's easy to get in your bubble and be like, this thing is and like,
assume that everyone likes and listens to what you listen to.
But these guys were like, we don't know who Chinedu is. And I was like, whoa, what the heck? So that was a really cool experience. And there was one night on the tour, like where we were doing an overnight. So we were like on a 15-hour bus ride. Wow. And we were like, oh, we should just like party a little bit on the bus, you know? So we just like had some beers, and they were like, oh my God, Joe, like you're the DJ, like play some stuff. So I had the aux, and I was just running like a crazy Motown like playlist. And it was cool because I felt like that type of music was really a place that we could meet. Like, you know, it's stuff that I like, but they knew it too. Like, and so, it was like a really like special memory.
That's sick. So that's what I love about like you as a DJ. I think you have like such a wide range of music palette that I feel like you could play literally at any event.
Yeah, that is one thing that I will give myself. Like, I feel like I can play anything. Yeah. Like, I can get booked at like most any event and at least feel like I can bring something, you know, that will work in that moment. Yeah. But I just like, that goes back to being a fan of music, fan of so many different types of music and so many different types of DJs. So,
so what would you call your genre right now? Cause you're like in your, I want to say like house. UK garage era. Yeah,
definitely. And I've always like, it's interesting cause I've always been playing that music and involved in that scene in Toronto, you know, like since 2016, I was playing events with that style of music. But now this year, I'm like really leaning into that, playing, a lot of like UK garage, like a lot of bass music, I guess, is like under the bass music umbrella. And yeah, I'm making music in that style and making a lot of like experimental electronic music and just kind of like leaning into that more, which is really fun.
Yeah.
The thing I like about electronic music is it is so like experimental and like it's not like, it's weird because sometimes it is a little bit like snobby in certain like scenes, but then it's also very like free too. Even the events and stuff like raves and stuff, like people really come to just like dance and like
and have a
lose
good
themselves.
time.
And I love that like spirit of it. So yeah, but that's kind of like the music that I'm focusing on now.
Okay. And I know you're dropping, you dropped an EP with Freeza.
I did, yeah.
I love you guys' name.
Oh, Chinese Spy Balloon.
Yeah.
Such a unique name.
Yeah, it's just a funny, silly name.
Who came up with that?
I mean, it was like the news story of the spy balloon.
Right.
And
they thought it was an alien, and I was like,
yeah, him and I are both like Chinese, our background, and like I think sometimes we look at like the media and how the media talks about China and like they make it this like scary thing, and like we're just like, this is so ridiculous, you know? So, and that was like a perfect example of like a time that they check. Yeah, a time that the media was really like painting like China in this like kind of light, and we just thought it was like ridiculous and funny. And like all, you know, across all the headlines it was like Chinese Spy Balloon, and we're like, this sounds like an artist name.
It does.
Yeah. And so that's why we call ourselves that. But we made this EP, dropped it last year. It was a lot of fun because Freeza, like, I'm very thankful for him, like, as obviously my partner, like, in our lives, but as a collaborator, because he's just really good at finishing projects. Like I'm like not good at that. I'm like I'll start something and then like leave it and walk away, but he's just like, no, let's get it over the finish line. And so
you need people like that.
So I've kind of like, you know, and I think I'm still just really like learning music production, and it's easy to get like stuck. If I'm like, you know, and a lot of those songs came out of those kind of instances where I had like made something and then I had something in my head that I wanted to do, but I wasn't sure how. And, you know, he's obviously way more experienced. So I sent it to him and he was able to like kind of take it to like the next step and then send it back to me. And then like, so it's fun collaborating with someone who has like different skills than you. And he definitely does. And so I think that's why we work really good together.
Are you like teaching like self-taught with production? Or
so I actually for the most part, I mean, he's like working with people like in the studio, you learn a lot too, just from like watching people do certain things. And like, you know, I'll see someone like even like do like a shortcut on their keyboard and something will happen and I'll be like, oh, I didn't know that, you know? And so I think it's intimidating putting yourself out there with people who are so much more like advanced than you, but you like have to really do it. And that's something that I'm trying to get more comfortable with because every time I go in studio with someone, I like learn something new. But so I've pretty much just been like self-taught. I watch like a lot of tutorials, but you really have to like get in and like dig around and play. And that's like very, I think that's a barrier for a lot of people because
for me, I started trying to learn how to produce in 2020 during the pandemic. And I think a lot of it is back to that thing I was saying where I feel like I have my hands in so many things that with production, it's something where you have, in order to master it, you have to kind of live, breathe it.
You got to put the time
into.
And there's going to be like a long period where like you're just sitting there with the program and you're like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm literally just like clicking around and like doing
just
random
like,
stuff.
Maybe I should just find someone and like I know the sound that I want. And I will just produce it without producing it.
First, I mean, that is like very valid, like type of production though, you know, like some of like the best producers out there don't have a lot of technical ability. They have like a vision and stuff like that.
I was going to use a name, but we can't use a name anymore. So I was going to say someone, but we can't talk about him anymore.
I feel like though, like if you're interested, like you definitely should, and you shouldn't let like, you know, not having that technical ability right off the bat like stop you. I think that for me was like a barrier for a long time, was just getting in my own head. And I would go on and I would watch like production videos and it would be like, you know, someone like in a studio with all this crazy equipment and they're like doing all this stuff with like hardware, and like I was just like, that seems so far away from like what I can do. But I was just like, actually the first song that I ever made in full, I was just like, I'm just gonna try to make something with just my computer. I'm not even gonna plug in like a keyboard or anything. I'm just gonna like make it with the computer. So the EP that I have now, that's Laptronica. So that's really what the name means. It's just like
like your laptop.
Yeah, it's just all music I made on my laptop.
I was thinking something else.
What's EP called?
Laptronica.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was thinking something else. I don't know why I was thinking about a lap dance. I'm like, ooh, it's gonna be like twerk pop music, twerk.
I mean, you could twerk to
house
some of the music. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
fast twerking for sure.
What type of what can we expect from the EP, and when is it dropping?
Oh, so it's ready to go.
Okay.
We're just like working on some distribution stuff. So hopefully it'll be out in the next couple of months. But it's experimental electronic music. Yeah. Like of no like fixed genre really. It's like, yeah.
Can't wait to hear it.
Yeah,
congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank you so much.
It's an amazing thing to not only start it.
The best way to listen to Laptronica is have a laptop.
Period. That's
headphones
it.
Plugged in.
Yeah.
That should be the commercial.
Yeah, it was a journey making it. And I mean, I'm even nervous telling people about it now because I just like, yeah, it's just, it's just been a journey for me to get to this
accomplishment.
Point. Thank you. Yeah, I'm very excited to get it out there. It's going to feel good. And I already have a lot more music I've been working on since those songs. So
you should call me to rap on one.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm joking.
Yo, Revy, so when you start Twitch, can I be like the guy? Have you seen like the Kai Cenat, Kevin Hart?
Yeah.
You were doing the thing. I was like, yeah.
I don't know why I thought about the Spider-Man, the TikTok Spider-Man guy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he looks tired. But that's honestly amazing, and I can't wait to hear it.
Thank you.
Can't wait to hear it.
Thanks.
So it's something you should be very, very proud of.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm working on it. Like I think I just like I'm so hard on myself, and like it's just again been such a journey to get here to even believe that I could do it, and I'm still not quite believing it. But I think just people around me have pushed me to do it. Like Freeza,
was that always your goal? I feel like most DJs, it's a synergy. It's kind of automatic to like transition from DJing to production.
Yeah, I think like there are some DJs that are just like lifelong DJs and that's their craft. But I think it's natural to like when you're playing music and you're so like into music and around it and exposed to it, to be curious like, how do I make this? Or if you hear a song that you like really love, it's like, how did they make this? Like when I listen to like Timbaland, I'm like, how did he make this song? Like literally, bro, how do you do that?
Yeah. There's some songs I hear and I'm jealous, and I'm like, I wish.
And just like even like sitting down with a blank like slate and like getting something to come out, it's like a very cool feeling. So I guess I don't know if it was like ever really my goal, but I've always been like into learning everything I can about whatever the thing is I'm doing. Yeah. And I'm that way with like gear. Like I love like gear and like tech and like I just want to learn every little thing. So I think it just kind of naturally, And then having someone like, like Freeza, who he's been producing music a lot longer than me, having someone like that around you, like even as I would hear him making music over the years, I would like hear it go from like one little snare sound and then it becomes this whole song. Like that's cool, like I'm like, I'm gonna do that.
Is there a song you refuse to play? Sexy Red is for me.
No, you got it.
Hell no. I just don't feel that
you go to the club and tell DJ, please play that song before I come on.
I don't even like, I just don't feel like her music is, it's not
for you.
It's not for me.
Yeah.
I don't think it puts like black people in the right light. Like even like I heard about her lip gloss line and the names, and I'm just like, what is this? Yeah. I'm like, who's marketing this? Right. It's just like, what are we singing about? Right. Yeah. I know I sound old, but like,
no, I mean, it's like, it lacks
substance. And I know a lot of music kind of does nowadays, but like to a certain point, it shouldn't just be just like, that's not it.
Yeah.
Eddie sing.
Triggered.
It's catchy. It's catchy. But yeah, is there a song you like?
Trying to think if there's like a song that I just will not play.
We had Four Corners here, and he said "Return of the Mac," and I was very offended.
I play that one.
Yeah,
at a certain
bop.
time.
Yeah,
I don't agree with all those discussions of DJs being like X song should be like retired.
Yeah,
like I see like on people. Palance should be retired.
They're
like,
tired of it.
Swag Surf should be retired.
No, you can't retire Swag Surf.
People are trying to say on Twitter that it should be, or X or whatever we call it now. I'm like,
that's a different planet. That's a multiverse right there.
Yeah.
I think every song can have its moment.
Yeah,
even songs that
at the right time,
for sure. There's songs that I'm like, kind of think I'm sick of, but then it'll be like played in the right moment, and it's so fun again. So I think that's the beautiful thing about music.
Yay for me.
As an MC.
Yay by Burna Boy.
Oh yeah, is that retired?
It's retired for me because so I found out about the song like 2 years before it became popular.
Yeah, and
I overplayed it. I was playing it in my sets, and then it all of a sudden became popular, and then it was like all over again. And
you're like, oh, I'm sick of it.
I'm sick of this.
Here's a weird one because it's like that's like a song that unites everybody.
Yeah.
Unites everybody. Like old, young, new, newborn babies.
And it's like crossed over to like a different kind of thing now. It's like it's a huge song. It's like in the canon of pop music.
Yes.
As an MC, the one song I do not like hearing is the one that makes everybody. What's the dance where you guys do? You guys go to the back, to the front.
Oh, it's like candy.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, like you don't.
No, because then everybody looks at the MC and it's like, yo, lead. I'm like, I don't know what to do.
You gotta learn the dance.
I'm not. I refuse to learn it.
I still don't know how to do it, and I still just be.
I will when they play that song. I tell the DJ, play Jerusalem next, because that's the one I know.
See that I don't know how to do it.
Yeah,
that I don't know how to do.
So when we do it together, then you play that one. You go lead the crowd, then you come back, and I'll go lead Jerusalem.
No, we need to stop with all the songs with the dance moves, please. You know my two-step is. That's why I like Amapiano. It's like
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about Sojourn Festival.
Yeah.
I think you guys did something so amazing. 3 days off the bat. 3 days.
3 days was crazy.
What? 3 or 4 stages?
There was 4 stages.
And all the DJs.
Yeah, it was amazing lineup. I think that's probably one of the most like exciting like lineups that Toronto like has ever had, really.
Like it was so dope. I wish I could have made it. I remember texting you. I'm like, don't even bother responding. I know what it's like to do these things.
Yeah.
What was the inspiration behind that?
Yeah. So Sojourn basically was started by 3 collectives, Pep Rally, Format, and Last Planet.
Okay.
And they're all like promoters in the electronic underground music scene. And they came together to do a festival, 3-day festival. And I think that, Toronto is an interesting city because it's a major city, but we really don't have a lot of music festivals here.
Yeah, I don't know why we can't get it right. I have a theory, but
it's like when you compare it to like a Montreal or something, it's like night and day.
Yeah.
And the festivals that we do have, we've got like Veld and Electric Island, which happens like 4 times a year.
Yeah.
And I think it's 4 times, but there's really no there's not a big like festival culture here. There's not a lot of places to do it downtown. And so, they came together to do this festival. They brought on ISO as a partner, and we curated one of the stages. So it was really cool because it was like these 3 different, 4 of us really coming together to make something that we're all kind of from like different worlds, but like coming together to create something, to create an experience for Toronto that we felt was like lacking. And so it's 3 days, 4 stages, a lot of like amazing like local acts, like tons of locals, which I think was just really special because that's one thing that at a Veld or something like that they don't do really. Like
it's a lot of like bring in like international acts.
Yeah, they might have like one local open each stage, but they never really like, they would never put a local DJ on at like a
Headline.
yeah
Prime time.
yeah. So yeah, that was kind of like, you know, Sojourn was like coming together to do that, to book a lot of locals, put them alongside like international talent,
Yeah.
which like as a DJ, as you know, like
Yeah.
having your name on a poster with like someone who you look up to
Yeah.
is a huge deal.
Yeah.
Like not only for your confidence and
Yeah.
to be like, I deserve to be here, but that you can use that going forward to sort of like help you get in different settings. So yeah, so that's what Sojourn was about. It was like honestly the craziest time. Like I was really trying to be present and enjoy it, but there was just so much
It's
going
hard,
on.
yeah.
Yeah. That after I was like, oh, I wish I could have just like gone as just an attendee, even for like one day. But it was really special. And I think that everybody said that it felt like just really, it felt really community oriented, and it felt sort of like a moment for Toronto, you know, that people are going to like look back at and be like, that was something special.
That's like even the graphics to everything you guys were putting on social media. I was like really, really impressed. And I'm like, this is amazing. And I love that the collaboration of 3 collectives coming together basically to put this together and getting sponsorship, which I know is very hard. Just putting together something like that firsthand, I know how hard it is. So that was amazing.
Another labor of love.
Yeah.
Too much labor.
But like, you know,
a lot of love coming out of it.
But what I say sometimes is like someone has to start it to inspire people.
Yeah.
Like you said, like Toronto isn't a festival city. And I also think that it's because we try to do everything downtown.
Yeah.
And not everything needs to be downtown.
Totally.
Like there are other spaces, like even if when you think about like a Coachella is not downtown LA.
Yeah.
It is somewhere in the desert.
Yeah.
And so I think that even when like I like that you guys did that because of people from the city. I love other outside festivals coming here, but I think that we here need to build our own thing.
Yes.
Before other people come from
100%.
outside and take that away from us.
Yeah.
So,
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
And I think that one barrier that is really holding Toronto music and like everything back from like advancing is that it tries to be so concentrated in the core. Like I think we need to start having events in like Scarborough, Mississauga, and all these places before it's really gonna like be able to go forward. Like if you look at any other like larger city, like if you look at like London or like even New York, like people are traveling like to the different boroughs to like go to different events and like that needs to like I think that
as long as it's on a GO train line, like hop on the GO train.
I would love to see more like parties and stuff happening in like different in like Scarborough.
Scarborough, even Hamilton. There's lots of spaces. Please do some in Mississauga so I don't have to I don't have to drive, because even Oshawa. Even driving downtown for me is like a hassle now because the traffic is crazy.
It's the same all the time you drive to Oshawa.
Yeah, like the public transit like definitely is a factor too.
Yeah.
I actually, it's such a big topic. Last year I was part of like these groups that the city of Toronto actually did these like nightlife sessions. We talked a lot about these kinds of things. And it's just like, you can talk forever about all the all the factors that need to come together to make it
we need
successful.
solutions.
We need solutions. Yeah.
And I don't know what what do you think are some solutions we can, because like now we have lack of venue spaces. One.
I think we need to like be using spaces that are maybe like empty that are already there in different ways. But we like need, there needs to be like support at the like government levels for initiatives like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Because even if you like one of my favorite things that I love about when I see parties, even like in New York, they're using like literally like a little alleyway to do a party. And it's hard to do those here for some reason. Yeah. And even that is a lot of work too, because you literally have to bring everything. I remember doing a party on a rooftop parking lot in Yorkville, and I thought it was going to be so cool. And
that was really cool.
It was, but man,
a lot of work.
Cool.
Even thinking about the porta potties. I didn't think about that. I'm like, how are we going to get this up there?
Up there.
Getting a generator. Like, it is a lot of work. So you need, I wouldn't have been able to do that event if I didn't apply for a grant.
Right.
Because I would have probably just gone bankrupt.
Yeah. Because every little thing has a cost attached. Yeah. Yeah, I know something needs to happen. I don't know. It's like it's feeling like more and more challenging all the time to do stuff. But I do think there needs to be support for it at levels where we can actually get things done and push things through. Because even something like a Sojourn, like, you know, that is like, was very precarious to like be getting the right permits and stuff like that.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So I think that there's something there though with like, how do we like make use of spaces that are not being used, whether that's outdoor or indoor spaces? I have a friend named David, and a few years ago, he tried to do this startup where he was turning nightclubs into co-working spaces during the day. Cause he's like, those are places that are like empty all the time.
Yeah. Makes sense.
It's like, that's kind of, you know, I'm not saying that's the solution, but it's like that's thinking like, how do I take something that maybe we already have it somewhere and like repurpose it or like,
because that's like that space that we used to be on. Was it on King and Bathurst? Love Child Social.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great venue.
Yeah, so they were kind of like trying to do that. They were trying to
co-working.
Yeah,
they're closed now, right?
Yeah.
Now that area is like a mess.
Disaster. It's turned into a Subway or something like that.
Yeah, they're
right?
putting like a Subway there.
Because regulars used to be there, and like,
it's a dope idea to have a club in the daytime as a co-working.
Be something else. Yeah.
I don't know if you want to see a club, what a club looks like in the daytime.
It's not very pretty, but
very pretty.
B-side questions. Icebreakers.
Yeah, no, I always got one for her. I always got one. I was going to ask you a question. So, and everybody's going to answer. You have a friend, you get a text, and
it's a situational question. Okay.
And the person is asking you for money. What song are you sending them? What song are you sending to them to describe?
You ain't got it.
Well, if you got it or you ain't got it.
No, you ain't got it.
Oh, you ain't got it? Okay, what song are you sending to them that you ain't got it?
I know my answer.
Wow, that's hard. Basically, a I'm broke song?
Yeah.
That describes your situation.
Not saying that you're broke. It's just saying I might have it, but I don't have it for you.
What's yours? I need to think on this.
Whitney Houston, I have nothing.
Oh my gosh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, I don't know. I'm bad on my feet at stuff like this.
What? Martin, you had one? Say again.
Little Dicky saved that money.
Little Dicky saved that money.
I forgot about Lil Dicky. What is he doing now?
Good question. Last time I checked, he had like a show or something.
Oh, yeah, that's big. Right. He has a show.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Little Dicky.
I honestly don't know my song, guys.
I'm sending you Akon. I'm locked up.
Oh my God.
They won't let me out.
That's a good one too.
I'm broke, baby.
Yeah, like Broke Boy, Playboy Cardi, Broke Boy, maybe.
Okay.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay. You are at a wedding, right? And it's your ex's wedding, and you find out that you're DJing your ex's wedding.
Ooh, that's where the Jayemkayem killer is gonna come out for sure.
This is an ex that you don't necessarily like.
Okay.
What's the first song you're playing to kill the mood?
To kill the vibe?
Yeah.
Oh, I play some like classical music or something, like Mozart.
It has to be
Beethoven for Elise.
I want a song that has a message to it.
Oh, okay.
Ex is wedding.
Maybe something just like really inappropriate, like very vulgar.
Like my
booty hole brown? Sexy red booty. Yeah, like maybe something like that. Just to offend everybody and then make the aunties all like leave the wedding.
How about you, Dre?
I'm trying to pinpoint one. You go first if you have a song.
Oh, I don't have a song. I don't have exes. That's what I say. So they don't exist.
Yeah.
Maybe Irreplaceable by Beyonce.
That would definitely send a message.
1 minute.
1 minute man by Miss Fortune.
Oh, that is fighting
Genius.
words, Niki.
Pretend to play last and just go straight into
Wasn't man enough for me.
Wow,
Yeah, those are
DJ
good
Niki
ones.
on
Those are
deck.
good ones. Those are good ones.
Wasn't man enough to be. I don't know. I ain't got nothing, man. I ain't got nothing. I'm too nice. Yeah, I'm too
Nothing.
nice.
Okay.
I got nothing. I'm blanking out. Wow. Like I have no breakup.
All right.
Yeah.
My last question for you. What is your dream DJ gig? Actually, my second and last question.
Dream DJ gig. I feel like I really would love to play. I feel like this is funny because it's my dream, but it's not that far off. But I would love to play a set of all my own music.
It's coming.
That's my
It's coming.
That's my dream.
Let's put it out there.
Yeah. And I always like I would love to play like a festival, obviously, but I'm not like a main stage artist. I'm like the second stage. Or maybe even the third stage.
That. You don't know
but
that.
I like want that for myself.
That for
I
yourself.
never like want. I don't think I want to be like a mainstream artist. I want to be the type of artist that like has like.
Do you think that's because if you go mainstream, is it the pressure or that you feel like you will kind of lose your?
I think the pressure, and I think also just like. I know that the type of music that I like is never really what's popular, like what's the most popular. And I'm like totally okay with that. I actually am more inspired by artists who don't have like 10 million fans, but they have like 10,000 really fucking strong ones.
Yeah.
Like
That
that's
will
what I
always
want.
come out to see them.
That's what I want for myself.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that is like my dream to like be playing a set of my own music to like, 2,000 people who are there for me.
Well, okay. It's going to happen.
How do you stay grounded amongst all of this? Like,
It's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think just knowing that like there's always more to like learn.
Yeah.
Is a big one.
Put that in my pocket.
Yeah, there's always more to learn. Like, there's always something like just something different to like do, some way to evolve yourself,
Right.
Whether it's music or life or anything like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, our last question to end the podcast. If you were to have your own festival, what would you call the festival? And who would be the 3 headliners? I know you, Jayemkayem is one of the headliners. So what would the festival be called?
Oh man, that's so hard.
Jayemkayem Festival.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah. See,
You should stop helping
branding is
people.
there.
I've been giving.
You always give everyone their names.
Yo, give me my coins.
Right. You gotta get the rights to that. Okay. The JM
You're putting it out there so it's on record. So if anyone,
yeah. This is a literal trademark.
So who would be your 3 headliners?
like, is this realistic or is it dead or alive?
Dead or alive.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Like Michael Jackson would for sure have to be there because that's someone who I never saw perform, but I always wish I could. Michael Jackson for sure. Prince, who I did see, and it was the best show of my life.
You got to see Prince?
Yeah.
You know that's so crazy because
I'm so jealous.
You know this trend where everybody's like listening to all the concerts.
Yeah.
Everybody's. I would have loved to see is Prince.
Same.
Prince.
Yeah.
Prince,
Wow.
Michael, and Whitney.
Yeah, that would be crazy 3 headliners. But Prince I saw in 2011 in Vancouver, and it was the craziest weekend because the Prince concert was on a Friday night, and went to the concert. It was amazing. He did like 8 encores. By the time the last encore happened, like everybody had left. There was only like 100 people left in the arena, and he came out again and he did another encore.
Wow.
And then after we went to the after party, because his after parties were like a thing. It was known that he would show up and like jam. And it was at this place called Bar None. I don't know if it's still there. It might still be there in Vancouver. It's like a small club.
Yeah.
And yeah, he showed up.
Wow.
We played till 3 a.m. We were there.
You were in the same room. Like
Yes.
Close vicinity.
Yeah. I couldn't really like see him because it was so packed, but he was there. It was the best night ever.
Hear this thing that people say that Prince, he doesn't walk, he kind of floats.
Yeah. He would have the aura too, for sure. So that was like definitely one of the best nights of my life. And then the very next night was the Watch the Throne tour.
Oh, wow.
So I saw Jay-Z and
Kanye. Okay.
Which another crazy experience at the time. Yeah.
So Michael, Prince,
Whitney.
Those still.
Or if I need to put someone from like current era, like probably Frank Ocean.
Frankie.
Yeah. As long as he like comes
Shows
and does
up.
a real show.
He shows up, he performs. That's someone I feel like we've given a lot of grace.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like he just really doesn't want to be an artist.
Yeah.
Like I think he wants to make music, but I don't think he likes any of the other part of it.
I think he just like put out his music and he was like shocked that it took off.
Yeah.
And, like,
But I saw him at Way Home in 2017.
Is he good live?
He was amazing that
Okay.
year. Like it was like so magical.
She said that,
Yeah.
yeah.
The Coachella thing.
I was pissed.
Yeah.
First I was pissed because they said they weren't going to live stream it.
Yeah.
And then whatever he canceled or something. And I'm like,
Yeah. He
Okay,
he
buddy.
like came and did something, but it wasn't really like a show, I don't think. He was just kind of like vibing.
Yeah.
Which I guess is cool too.
But
But
my thing is like, why even do it or sign up for it?
Yeah.
If you aren't gonna.
But they replaced him like the following
Yeah,
week. So
yeah.
he must have really just been like, I'm out. Which fair enough, I
Yeah,
guess.
Prince, Michael, and Frankie. That
Yeah.
would be a good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a good show.
I feel like to have maybe like it's so crazy to say have Prince like open, but like I feel like that would be a good
You
like
would have
trajectory.
Prince open.
I'd have Prince open and then Michael and then like Frank to like end
You're
it.
gonna have Frank close out the concert.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't think he can close out the concert.
I would have him open. 'cause
He would definitely
his
go
mood-
missing. He would go missing.
It's
Like,
so chill
he would
though.
go
Frank
missing.
is kind of giving. He's in his Lauryn
What?
Hill bag right now.
After you do Thriller, and
He'd be like late if
Yeah.
he was opening. He wouldn't show up.
That's true. So yeah, you might want
I mean, he
to.
might just do the. He might
By
do
the time he arrives for his set, you tell him he's opening. By the time he arrives,
Yeah.
he's closing
He's
out
closing,
the show.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much for
Thank you.
Before we
doing
go,
this.
I finally found my song.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
It's gonna be "Gold Digger" by Kanye West.
Oh, that's a
She
good one.
take my
too.
money. When yeah, I wanted to put that out there. Gold Digger.
But
Good
thank you
selection.
so much
Thank
for
you.
doing this. We really, really appreciate you and all the amazing things that you're doing. So here at B-Side, one of the things we like to
Oh
do
my
is
gosh.
give. So
Wow.
I
thank
believe
you.
in giving people their flowers while they're here. So I wanted to give you your flowers for being a legend
Thank
and
you
all the
so
amazing
much.
things that you've done. I know you say it is a labor of love, but it's something that is needed in the city.
Thank
and
you.
Congratulations on the upcoming EP and all the success that's going to come with it.
Thank you guys so much.
I
This is
respond to my
so
DM.
beautiful.
Yeah, respond
to my DM from 2018.
Yeah, damn it.
These are gorgeous. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. I appreciate y'all. And I just like, I'm very thankful to, just anytime I'm in community with good
Yeah.
people, I'm very thankful and just, I appreciate everything you're doing.
Thank you. And let's do another Renaissance group soon.
Oh my God, I'm ready. So ready. So that night gave me life.
Same. Like
Moving on.
it literally healed. You had to be there.
You're just jealous. You missed out.
I remember us just looking at each other like, what is going on? Like from as soon as like people came in,
Yeah.
it was just like
Everything.
I had never been a part of such an energy like that before.
Yeah.
Like
Me neither.
from
Still
like,
to this day,
yeah,
it's
same,
just like not been replicated. It was amazing.
good time.
That was one night that I was like, I actually wish this night could go for like hours and hours more.
Same. Rest in peace to Phoenix because
Oh yeah,
leaving or
sad.
it's whatever.
We don't know
It's going to
what's
be a
going on.
condo or
Yeah.
something. But welcome to Toronto.
Thank you.
But thank you again, Jayemkayem.
Thanks,
Where
guys.
can people follow you?
You
the
can
many
follow me.
M's,
Yeah.
TikToks.
I mean, I'm Jayemkayem on everything except for TikTok. I don't even know how many.
JM.
Yeah.
M's in this.
Manifesting the M's.
The
you
money.
know?
Yeah,
Please.
I just need one M.
Let me get into.
M.
Let me get
Just
into
a single M.
This is when I get Nigerian. Please, when you get the cash, sending us. We too. We need the bag. You know, we need it. All right.
Thank you.
Stay tuned for her B-side mix.
Yay.
Let's go.